Welcome to the day after, and what a great day after it is with Oregon making a run, an improbable run, and winning the Pac 12 tournament, the last Pac 12 tournament at that, forever cementing their legacy into the Pac 12 lore as the winningest Pac 12 team in the conference tournament with 25 total wins. That surpasses Arizona and all other schools. And Oregon wins the Pac 12 tournament for the sixth time in their history. So, this run through this tournament is something that nobody other than Oregon fans thought could happen. And every single game, I think maybe Oregon was favored in the very first game by like 2 or something like that. And then Arizona was favored by like, I think upwards of like 12 points, double digit favorite. And then Colorado was favored to win. Oregon goes 1-5 against these schools early in the year. 64-59 win at UCLA, 63-71 loss at home, 2 losses, 78-87 and 83-103, which I was at that Arizona game, the 83-103 when Kuznard goes off for his 39 points. But Oregon just gets blown out because all these other teams were just hitting all these threes. Then you take 2 losses to Colorado, 70-86 and 75-79. And then Oregon comes back and sweeps all 3 of those teams with 8 scholarship players in the Pac 12 tournament. That's just simply an amazing coaching job by Dana Altman. But also, it's an amazing coaching job by Dante and Kuznard. One of the things that Dana said is that this team is very leadership heavy and leadership run, and that a lot of times Dante and Kuznard are the one talking with these guys and coaching these guys, and he just has to give them a little kick in the butt every so often. So, hats off to Dante and Kuznard leading this team through 3 straight wins with 8 scholarship players. I know their legs must have been tired, but sure determination. And I don't know if you watched the end after the game when they interviewed Kuznard, and for a guy that keeps a very straight demeanor all the time, you could just see the emotions bubbling up in him. He was having a hard time keeping his voice steady, and he was just over the moon. And it was great to see that kind of emotion and excitement coming out of those guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this happened. And let's see, we got the UCLA game. So here's my keys to every Oregon win from here on out. From the Pac 12 tournament on, here's the keys to Oregon winning these games. And part of this is because they're not hitting 3-pointers right now, they're shooting a very low percentage through the tournament, and their free throws are struggling a little bit. Dante has to be around that 20-point mark in every game. And then Shellstad and Kuznard have to be in double digits. If you get those 3 combination of things, Oregon has a great chance to be winning these games. So if we look at the UCLA Bruins versus Oregon game, Dante has 22, only has 6 rebounds. Jadrian Tracy pitches in with 10. Shellstad has 12. Kuznard has 10. Those are both double figures. Dante has his 22. And then again, Aquendo pitches in 10. Those, if you get any fourth or fifth person adding in, Oregon is very, very, very hard to beat. And so yeah. So let's take a look at this game recap. So Oregon shoots 23% from the 3-point line, or UCLA shoots 23% and Oregon shoots 20%. That is just not going to cut it in the tournament. Oregon needs to find a way, and I think it needs to be Brendan Rigsby needs to find his shot and score. I don't know what has happened with him late in the year. I don't know if he has an injury or something that they're not disclosing, but he has not been able to really score at all lately. I just don't know what it is about that, but he needs to step up in this tournament. Oregon needs a fourth and a fifth scorer, because it's just you can't just rely on all those other guys. If somebody gets in foul trouble or somebody's just having an off game, they need to have that fourth and fifth option, which is right now Oregon does not have consistently. So Oregon gets 5 more regular shots than UCLA and one less three-pointer, and Oregon wins that by 2. But if you look at this, Oregon wins this rebounding battle, and they get 10 offensive rebounds to 8. The assist ratio was high, both of them with 5 steals. Surprisingly, UCLA had more blocks than Oregon, but if you look at the turnovers, Oregon, again, one of the lowest turnover teams in the Pac-12. They only have 8. And so great performance by N'Faly Dante. Again, goes 22 points, and Oregon gets the win. Now, we go to this Arizona game. This was a very scary game for Oregon, with Dante going down in the first 4 or 5 minutes of this game with a really hard fall. Didn't really come back until late in the first, and then comes back in the second half. I think he sat out 11 minutes of the first half or something like that. And look, you can see he only has 27 minutes in the game. But he comes back in, he gets 10 rebounds, and he scores 14 points, and that's with him being out for such a long period of time. But again, Shellstad and Kuznard. Shellstad goes 21 points, and Kuznard goes 20. And Jadrian Tracer goes scoreless. Evan puts in 6, and Oquendo puts in 6. Again, Rigsby doesn't score. Plays 13 minutes, goes 0 for 2 from the field and 0 for 2 from the three-point. Brendan Rigsby needs to step up. Brendan Rigsby needs to be able to score. They need that extra score. They just have to have that score. But again, Dante does a great job in this game coming back, and Oregon comes back to dominate the second half, 44-26 in the second half, and just an amazing performance by those guys, especially Dante. If you look here, Oregon dominated the rebounds, 34-26, gets 2 more offensive rebounds, gets 4 more steals. Both of them had 7 blocks in this game. And Oregon, again, has a lower amount of turnovers with 10, and a little high for them, but still really, if you exclude that middle point of the first half, this was a great game for Oregon. And other than that, there just wasn't a lot to be sad about. Other than, again, Oregon struggling from the 3. They went 7 of 23 for 30%. That needs to be somewhere around 35-40%. Would put Oregon in a very unbeatable position. And Oregon shoots the free throws well here in that game. And they clamp down on defense, holding Arizona to their lowest point total of the year, 38% from the field and 26 from the three-point line. And just a great performance by those guys. I mean, I don't know what else you can say about it. They just came back and had the will to win, even after getting down early. All right, Colorado game. Again, in this game, Oregon jumps out to a lead, and then the other team comes back and just dominates Oregon in the second half, and in that middle section of that first half. And then this game, Oregon was able to come back and maintain the lead. It looked a little shaky in the first half at the end there, but Oregon's defense, held them down to 30 points. And then in the second half, Dante just goes wild. He goes 12 for 12 from the field for a perfect game. I think the last time that happened was Bryce Taylor. I think he was 7 for 7 in a game. But, man, 25 points, 9 rebounds, almost gets his double-double. But he's up above 20. And Shellstad's double figures and Kuznard's double figures. And that gives Oregon every single time a very good chance to win. And again, if we look down here, Oregon loses the rebound battle by 1, amazingly, but they win the offensive rebound battle. And look at this stat right here: 3 turnovers for the entire game versus Colorado's 13. If you are a team that's only getting 3 turnovers and you are close to winning the rebound battle or winning the rebound battle, you are going to be very, very, very difficult to beat in any game. And if Oregon can do that kind of thing, then they are just going to be unstoppable. But again, look at this. They shoot 11% from three and somehow still dominated the second half and won. And it was just an amazing performance again by Dante with 25 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, and 1 blocks. But what doesn't show up is all the changes that happen because Dante's in the game. Anytime he's there, he's changing shots, he's changing path, he's deflecting balls, getting steals. He's just an amazing player that him and Kuznard willed this team to these victories and showing Jackson Shellstad the way. And man, I don't know what to say because this is very picturesque of Peyton Pritchard back in the day when he takes Oregon to the tournament I'm pretty sure he did it as a freshman. But the thing is, if you look at the stats, you got Jack Shellstad a little ahead of Peyton Pritchard, and if they can maintain that, get a little run going in here, getting that confidence, Oregon is going to be a very, very dangerous team to play in the tournament. If Oregon shows up and plays in the tournament, you just never know what can happen. Oregon can make another beautiful run with Dana Altman at the helm. And yeah, so the projections are they're an 11th seed playing against Texas A&M in Spokane, and that's good. It's a short distance to Spokane from Eugene, Oregon, and probably should be a bunch of hometown fans there. But yeah, if Oregon can limit the turnovers, win the rebounds, Dante has 20 plus points, Jackson Shellstad and Kuznard are in that 15 range, and if anybody else pitches in, Oregon wins that game. Oregon needs to get that 3-point percentage under control. I don't know what that's about. Brendan Rigsby needs to get on there and start scoring, and let's just see what Oregon can do in the tournament. I'm very excited to see what happens today, where they get put, and then we'll see what happens in the tournament. With that, we're out of here. Much love all.